War Eagle. The Auburn Tigers getting ready for the 2021 football season, and we'll be there. Troy Cable watching Auburn football, and of course it's exciting times as the Tigers get ready to do battle with the and who's that? Akron Zips, and the Zips will be coming to Auburn soon.
Bigsby will have 250 yards rushing probably.
Yeah, exactly.
The next Heisman hopeful at Auburn University, and Zacchaeus Etheridge from Troy, Alabama, graduate of Charles Simpson High School, played at Auburn, was the team captain when they won the national championship. Yeah. And congratulations, Zach, on being on the staff at Auburn University.
I tell you, I'm proud of him. I remember just doing a lot of games that he played in, and I remember this. They played him on defense a lot of the times. When he was at Charles Simpson. But when they did finally decide that he could play tailback, he rushed for over 100 yards all 3 games. I think there was 3 ball games.
Same thing like Richard McBride.
And when I was Enterprise, he ran for over 100 yards against Enterprise. Yeah, and you're right, Richard McBride, same way. He's another one that they realized late that what a great running back. Hey, they couldn't tackle him. McBride, you couldn't even tackle him.
You didn't want to tackle him. I wouldn't want to tackle him.
I know it. And that's the kind of guy I want to have playing for me.
You get him high and I get him low. You take the right leg, I take the left leg.
Of course, we got a lot of things going on this Wednesday. Well, is it Wednesday hump
morning,
day, and
the 4th of August.
Of course, we've got schools starting for the public schools. I think I want to say the 9th of August.
They'll start next Monday.
Monday.
Their teachers are reporting today for Pike County schools and Troy City schools. And the kids will arrive at school next Monday. And I want to read this update. I printed this morning. It's the Troy City Schools reopening plan.
This is very important now. Get your ears ready for this.
In consideration of the last guidance from the Alabama Department of Public Health, the American Academy of Pediatrics, local health officials, Troy City Schools will require masks to be worn inside all school buildings, classrooms, and buses effective August the 9th. They're going to run that and make a decision on the 13th of September. Masks are not required outside, but they are strongly recommended for events and activities where more than 100 are gathered. Anybody coming to the school visiting must have a mask. So Troy City Schools, you will be wearing a mask to begin school. I believe Ozark City has mandated that as well.
Yeah,
I read earlier this morning, real quick, Pike County's policy, and I'll have that for you tomorrow. But I think theirs it could change any day, and but I won't mention that because I don't have a copy of that.
All right, again, now let me see how this works. All right. If you're going to school at Charleston High School, inside the doors, you've got to be wearing a mask. Is that right? It
says will require a mask.
Yeah.
All teachers, staff, all students. Now, last year there was a clause if you were like kindergarten, first, second grade, didn't have to.
Yeah.
But it says all students, which I mean,
it's elementary too. Yeah.
That means pre-K, which are 4 years old.
Oh, they can't understand that. A lot of them just cannot understand that.
But there it says all students, staff, and
for how long will this last?
It's right now. They will continue to monitor COVID data and revisit this decision on September the 13th, so over a month, and they'll make necessary adjustments at that time if needed. And this was a report by Cynthia Thomas, the superintendent of Troy City Schools. I printed it this morning.
Man, oh man, that's big news. And now, to my knowledge, have these kindergarten kids, have they worn a
I'm not sure what the policy was last year because I was not there, but I think some younger kids like pre-K and kindergarten, I don't think had to wear them if they were like second grade and under.
Yeah.
But everyone else did.
And now they do the pre-K and under?
It says all students.
Oh, boy.
It says all students. It didn't have any kind of clause for anybody younger than.
Don't you know that's going to be, for that age group, it's going to be some real adjustments? Man, I tell you, that's amazing.
And I think they'll take, I guess they can go outside and socially distance and take it off and let them get some fresh air.
When they do go out on the playground, they're allowed to take them off.
That's what it. But it says it's recommended if you're amongst groups of 10 or more. So, typically on a playground, especially at the Hank Jones Center, you take that many students out, they're wide open together. Now, there probably will be some adjustments for the physical education teachers. I have no idea. It may be where individual classrooms can take their classes out for a break, like 2 classrooms at a time, where they can really spread out. I'm not sure about those guidelines, but.
Well, I tell you, this is a huge adjustment for you folks, and I know if I was a parent, and I've got a 4-year-old, or do they have 4-year-olds?
It says pre-K. I think they're 5.
5 and 6-year-olds. Boy, that's going to be some real adjustment. Now, somebody, go ahead.
Good morning. Welcome to Today in L.A.
Morning. How are y'all?
Hey, Michael.
Mike Amos calling in from Grayton Beach, Florida this morning. Is it beautiful down there?
Yeah, the sun's out. Probably less people down here, and it's been throughout the whole summer. You can kind of tell the school's about to start back.
Let me ask you a question. We've just read this morning that the Troy Public Schools will have to have face masks when they start the school. Even the kindergarten group, K5, pre-K, they've got to wear masks indoors.
Starting Monday through the 13th of September.
What would your children do?
We don't have that down here. Governor DeSantis signed a bill where it's not mandatory to wear masks at schools down here.
Well, the state of Florida has about their record as far as the virus goes pretty bad.
All they have to do is if they want to, is voluntarily. If you want to wear one, you can wear one.
But how would little Mary Prater act with wearing the mask? Would that?
I think it'd be horrible for my kids. Yeah. I don't think they'd keep them on.
Well, let me tell you, it's required indoors for the the local kids here in Troy. What do you think?
Yeah, the only thing that's changed down here is we go to the Episcopal Church, and the Episcopal Church has gone back and said that we have to wear masks now at church again, but schools you don't have to.
Oh, man.
Well, it's affecting concerts already. Garth Brooks has come out and said that he may cancel his early tours. He has one in Kansas City on the 7th of August and one on the 14th of August in Lincoln, Nebraska. And he has other gigs in Cincinnati, Charlotte, Baltimore, and Foxborough, Massachusetts. Said he may have to cancel his tour depending on the COVID restrictions that those states may.
But this is a big thing, Michael. It says evidently mandatory for the city of Troy. If you're indoors, you have to be wearing a mask, and that's with a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old kid.
Yeah, I don't know. Florida's just different than Alabama. Our governor's a little bit different.
Well, I know Tyson Foods is requiring all their workers, Tyson Foods, all across the world, United States,
all the
must be vaccinated. And, these rulings on the court level, they're going to probably uphold it. If you're not going to vaccinate, you're going to have to find something else to do.
I was reading this morning that already 1.6 million people have now been vaccinated in Alabama, but hey, that's just 34% of the state's population. What we're going to do with the other 65%?
Didn't they say nationwide though it's close to like 70% now?
Well, I don't.
Like apparently the Delta variant has got a lot more people out there getting the vaccine now since this has come around.
Well, you can take a look at this right here in the paper. There's the southern. There in red is the southern states. How many southern states have not met the what you call the threshold yet, as far as having enough people
well, that's the surge.
vaccinated.
That's the surge of COVID
That's
cases,
right.
I think.
That's where the big surge is going on right here in these states, including Alabama and Florida and most all of the southern states. In fact, all of them, I would say, other than maybe Oklahoma. If you call them a southern state, they're under that southern surge.
Was that you? I saw at the Crenshaw County alumni meeting last night.
Yeah, it was a wonderful meeting, and all the coaches were there, and of course we appreciate the wonderful gathering in the barn. We call it the barn.
Yep.
And of course you played in that barn when you were a kid, didn't you?
I didn't play it. I've been fishing down in that in their pond right there.
Uh-huh.
But I grew up right there near Hal and where Hal and Ken grew up.
Yeah.
Mr. Leo's children.
Yeah.
And had another sister named Wendy, I believe.
Of course, his
I
daddy
grew up
was
on a dirt road
his
close
daddy
to
was a
there.
great Troy supporter, and of
Mr.
course,
Leo.
and the boys are good Troy supporters too.
Hal and Ken.
Yeah.
Ken and I are the same age. We attended Luverne Elementary School together. We're the same age, and then we moved to Goshen. We just started going to Goshen because it was so close.
You're right. It's right there at the Goshen turnoff.
And Ken graduated with Gene Allen. They played football, basketball together.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if Ken played basketball, but he was a pretty good football player.
He was really a
They
good.
graduated in 1977 from Crenshaw Christian Academy.
Our other buddy though, he went to Alabama, did he?
You're talking about Hal?
Yeah, Hal went to Alabama.
Did he go to Alabama or Auburn? I'm not real
think
sure.
so.
But, Hal was in the Guard,
Yeah,
National
they were
Guard.
good.
Reserves
They were
for a
big
long
time farmers. I'll tell you that. Evidently, big time farmers.
Yes, sir. They can.
How did Skylar Mead? How was he last night?
He was fantastic. I'm telling you, you want to. We've got a real personality now on the coaching staff at Troy. Baseball coach he spoke last night, and buddy, he had everybody just rocking. He was great.
When we first mentioned him being named the Troy University baseball coach, I Googled him, and I kept scrolling down till I found his Louisville when he was a player at Louisville, and with his biography. It's neat. You need to read it. And I read where he loves the game of table tennis or ping pong.
Yeah,
So yesterday at work, I took a little break, and I Googled Troy table tennis balls, and I ordered a set. So when they come in, I'm going to knock on his door. Hey, Coach, get your paddle out. I got us some ping pong balls.
Oh,
Let's
God.
go.
Are
Let's
you
find
pretty
some
good at it?
Well, he probably can whoop me,
Yeah.
but for my age, I think I'm pretty good.
I was watching.
Yeah, he's yet to hire anybody on his staff. I think Godwin will be retained on the staff, and then he'll probably have to hire 2 or 3 more guys.
Yeah, I was thinking he had hired a pitching coach, but I don't even know. In fact, I doubt if he needs a pitching coach. I think he'll probably be the pitching coach. And I told him last night, I said, Coach, you're left-handed, aren't you? He said, yep, I'm left-handed. And of course, every coach wants as many left-handed pitchers as he can find. I tell you.
What did Chip Lindsey say about the upcoming season? I guess that's what we need to talk about.
Yeah, and he's going to be on our show Friday. So hey, that's when they hit the field, and we're going to be able to get him on our show Friday morning. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, we've also got the basketball coach, and he's a great guy too. And I tell you, you look at the chemistry on this coaching staff. Not only in football, all the way down to soccer and some of the girls' sports. They have an excellent feel for the game, not only as a fan, but how the coaches mesh together, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this Troy teams with these coaches, a young bunch of coaches.
Did y'all watch the 400
was a real surprise to me. She upset the champion, former champion.
Yeah,
did she?
I mean that was an incredible race. I mean, Muhammad, who was the defending gold medalist, she also ran a world record time, and McLaughlin came back and beat her at the last. That was incredible last night to watch.
I wish I could have seen it. I didn't stay up late enough to watch it, but I heard about it.
You know, part of the fun of being at a track meet is those races that are fast. I mean, the crowd goes bananas. Can you imagine if that stadium had been packed? Like for the 100 meters, the 200 meters, the 400, the hurdles, even the 400. I mean, it's the end of the race is what's so exciting.
Yeah.
And the crowd.
Yeah, it's a shame that they haven't had the crowds, but just think how it motivates a lot of these kids. When they're kids, some of them older, but you can tell they've been motivated by crowds.
Well, some good news here in Troy, Alabama, as it relates to baseball. Press Jeffcoat has committed to play baseball at Pensacola State College.
That's good, yeah.
Last year for the Patriots, he pitched 35 innings, had an ERA of 2.80. He had 50 strikeouts with 22 walks. So congratulations to Press Jeffcoat. That's one F, Jeffcoat.
Of course, his dad was a former coach and player at Troy University in basketball, and I know he's awfully pleased to see his son, and he starts this year. Is that right?
He'll be a senior at Pike Lip.
Oh,
he has
okay, one more year. Good. One more year.
And
that's a great place to have to go visit, Pensacola. It's a lot to do in downtown. My wife and I went over there one night. I had no idea that it offered so much.
Well, his little brother, now Press, one thing I like about him, his demeanor, he don't say a whole lot. But he is so focused in whatever he does. He has that same look. But his younger brother Payne is probably 6'3".
His name's Payne.
Payne, the younger brother.
Okay, yeah.
They're the dynamic duo. I'll tell you a story. One day I was cooling off, and I like getting a sun drop, and I'll drive the neighborhood, and they live in our neighborhood. And I noticed that Payne and Press and Rochelle and Billy were all in the corner of the yard around the air conditioner unit. So I just pulled in there and said, "What y'all got going on?" So there's a snake under here.
Oh.
They couldn't get it to come out. I said, "You got a little bit of gas?" I said, "Put a little bit of gas down there. He'll come out." So they poured just a touch of gas, and out that snake come, and they pinned him down.
Oh boy, was it an appointment date?
I don't think so.
That was. But now Payne is ninth grade or 10th grader?
I think he'll be a 10th grader.
And is he going to be big and tall, strong like his daddy?
Yeah, they're both. I think Press is probably 6 foot, maybe 6'1". Yeah. But Payne, the youngest one's a little bit taller.
Yeah.
But
if you looked at this pitching rotation for Pike Liberal, you had Payne and you had a Press, and then you had the great left-handed pitcher
Nelson. And
then you had the other kid, the cousin of this Payne or Press, and he's already signed too, hasn't he?
Well, to my Press.
Stallworth.
Yeah, Stallworth.
Yeah, Stallworth. Yeah, he's gone off.
That's three pretty good pitchers right there.
Well, see, next year you're gonna have Nelson back, the lefty.
Yeah.
You'll have Press back.
Oh boy.
And you'll have the kid from Northside Methodist.
Yeah, the kid coming in to play quarterback.
That committed to Georgia Southern. So there's your three aces right there.
That's right. Yeah.
And you probably got.
Surely Nelson's not going to play football.
Well, yes, Mike.
I don't know if he is or not.
Last time I heard that he was thinking about playing football. He plays quarterback.
Well, I just heard from his granddaddy this past.
They got 4 quarterbacks.
Well, his granddaddy, I saw him this weekend. He played some golf, and he said that he did real well at that camp, or that invitational at in North Carolina. and that he pitched the final game. They all pitched 2 innings, and they selected him to be the starting pitcher. And but their team made it all the way to the finals. I don't know how they did. I have not heard any specific stats, but what his granddad was telling me that he was fixing to load up a plane and fly into Atlanta or Birmingham and play at another tournament.
Oh boy, isn't that
So
something?
he's still.
He is very well known. In fact, I was talking to the baseball coach last night, and he was not he couldn't say a lot about these players, but everybody knows we call him the left-handed kid from Pike Liberal.
Well, I had 2 guys the last 2 or 3 days. 2 baseball players from Troy University, play golf.
Yeah.
And one's both of them are pitchers, I believe. And I said, "Are y'all playing next year?" They said, "Yes, sir." And they're kind of excited, especially with the background of this guy being a pitcher.
Oh yeah.
And but anyway, it's the chapters we've done changed chapters. We went to the Chase Riddle, and then went to Bobby Pierce, Mark Smart, and now.
And don't forget about the great John Mayotte.
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, Mike, you were very nice to say that.
Well, anyway.
UAB up in fall practice yesterday. They got Tyler Johnson, the kid from Swain Park, back at quarterback again. I think he's been the starter 3 years in a row. And then they had a backup quarterback, Dylan Hopkins, who played a lot last year, and then Bryson Lacerno, who I thought was better than all of them. He's the guy that played IMG. Lacerno is now running 3rd string at UAB.
But
that means they must really have confidence in Tyler Johnson and Dylan Hopkins. I tell you what, they got 3 really good quarterbacks at UAB.
I tell you, well, you're exactly right. Now Troy's got 2 good ones, and of course one of them is that came in here this spring from Missouri, and he evidently has impressed the coaching staff, and they will not determine or will not say who the starter is, and rightfully so. I could understand them holding that back until later on, couldn't you? Before they made a determination about who was going to be number 1.
Will they start this Friday?
I don't think it matters for Southern who's the quarterback, but after that, I'd worry about it.
Yeah.
I see. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We got another caller. Hang on, please. Good morning. Welcome to Today in L.A.
Hey, it's Will Matthews. How you doing?
Well, let me get Michael back with us. Hang on, please. All right. We have Will Matthews on the phone. We have Michael Amos on the phone. Good morning, Mr. Will.
And Will, what is this about? They were talking on the sports about a connection you got with a player in the pros. You know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea.
Well, it was a guy that was interviewed about some. I tell you what it was. Bobby Jones IV is putting on the golf tournament. Did you know that?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's going to be in Atlanta, and it's going to be for charity. And I think it's going to be a pretty interesting tournament.
Are you going to play in it?
Right now, I can't. I've got court. If something changes, I probably will.
Yeah, but and they're going to have a 4-hour. Listen to this. They're going to have a 4-hour talk show with Bobby Jones IV and another guy, well-known golf personality. Are you familiar with that?
Now he did one with Trevor Immelman that won the Masters earlier this year before the Masters. It was very interesting.
They say he is really funny. Yeah, and and so he's going to have a some kind of on the. Do you ever listen to the golf radio? I mean television.
All the time. Yeah, all the time.
All right. See, I do too. I like it, and they're going to have one session. They're going to have 4 hours, and with Bobby Jones IV and a couple other guys on radio.
Yeah.
I thought that's fun.
I got my email back the other day from the Masters. Will, I didn't get
I've put in every time and I've never got them, so I just want.
Yeah, but it's got to be political somehow.
I have a buddy up in Birmingham that actually did that one time and got him that. So I guess it's legit.
Yeah.
What do you think about Phillip Rivers, that's coaching high school football in Mobile? And he came out yesterday and said he might not be retired and might want to still have a chance to go back up and play in the NFL. I'm kind of surprised by Rivers.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I would love to watch him. I would love to watch him. He's one of my favorite players. And
Carson Wentz, who took over with the Colts, already injured, is going to be out 12 weeks. So
Rivers would be perfect for them.
Well, he already played for him last year.
Yeah.
He can fit right in. I'm sure he's in good shape.
Yeah. Michael saw him in the restaurant the other day. Did he have his whole family with him, or just with his wife?
That was a year ago, but yeah, I've seen him down here before. They've got a place down here on 38.
Yeah. He's an imposing sight. What is he, 6'8"? How big is he?
6'7". He's got 9 kids.
6'7". Got 9 kids. Yeah. They got any of them football age?
No, not yet.
I think 2 of them are around junior high age.
Yeah. But that's unreal. And of course, Phillip Rivers.
His dad was a coach up in North Alabama for years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was at Athens High School, I want to say. And
he was at Decatur before that.
Yeah, he moved around quite a bit. Our buddy.
He wasn't good enough to play at Auburn and Alabama, though.
Our buddy.
Auburn wanted to play tight end. Alabama didn't look at him at all.
Yeah. We got a good buddy that is the head coach at Huntsville High School. Did you know that?
Yeah, Mark Fleetwood.
Mark Fleetwood. And Fleetwood, he just loves Troy. He every time I get him on the phone, he just raves over wanting to come back and retire in Troy, Alabama. Fleetwood. Did you ever know Mark Fleetwood?
I've heard of him.
Great guy, and he said he's going to
coach. He was a all-conference kicker at South Carolina.
Yeah, he was.
Up there around Tuscaloosa at American Christian, Chris Melly resigned as head coach. And
that's huge news. He played at South Carolina and has been in that program for 10 years. I've met him several times at different events because I was in the sporting goods business. And
now he had a brother that played at Alabama, didn't he?
Yeah, tight end Brad Smith.
Yeah. Said that he's taking some personal time to focus on his family, and that a full-time varsity coaching position would not otherwise allow. So to take it over for him is Cody Martin. He's been named interim coach.
What's the name of that school?
American Christian.
Oh yeah, Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, ACA. They have a great program every year.
Yeah.
I watched him play when Smelly was the tight end. I watched him play.
They're another example of transfer. Changing over from the Alabama public school.
They were a private school that went public.
Yeah, and they've really been very successful. Of course, it's a lot going on today, and we've already talked about schools starting on the 9th, August the 9th. I know public schools here in Troy. Is that Pike County schools too?
Yes, Pike County and Troy City schools will start the 9th.
And now, I don't know if I brought mine in or not, but you better put on your when you walk in the door, you grab this little thing here, and you put it on, and that's where you're supposed to be indoors. Is that right?
Hey, Mr. Will, Ozark City, they'll be under mask restrictions at the school. They'll be under a mask policy. Have you heard that, Ozark City?
I have not heard that.
Well, Troy City schools will starting Monday when the kids come back. All students.
Where's the hospital in Ozark, Will?
Well, Carroll High.
Where it's always been. They built a new one.
Is there a hospital? No, I'm talking about the hospital. Is there a hospital in Ozark?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the hospital is on James Street. It's about 2 streets or 3 streets over from Broad Street, Main Street south. But yes, it's not a huge hospital, but it's fairly nice.
Yeah, nice hospital. You're right. And of course, you know.
I'd be interested to see how like Troy Regional's doing with COVID cases right now. They have a lot of people.
Hey, give me a minute. I want to mention something. It's been on my heart. I've got a very good friend, Ricky McClellan. He's got McClellan's Restaurant in Daleville, and Ricky has got COVID, and it is bad. And he's in the Enterprise Hospital. He was there for a while, then they let him go home, then they had to rush him back by ambulance. Mm-hmm. Almost lost him yesterday, but he's fighting.
And he's the owner of McLean's Restaurant?
Yeah, in Daleville, McLean.
Yeah, that's a famous place to eat, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and his family's owned it for years, and he's my age. He's young, I mean, but he's got it bad, and I hope everybody will pray for him and his family, because it's rough right now.
Well, I'll tell you this, from age 5K on up, you've got to be wearing a mask indoors, and that's asking awful lot for a mama and daddy to have to put a mask on that child as he walks into the school. So that's where.
Well, that got passed by Troy City Schools.
Yeah, that's right.
All students must wear masks. It said all students.
Is that Pike County too, or
I don't know about Pike County.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of read it, but didn't print it, so I don't want to mention.
But that is going to be interesting to see these small children wear these masks indoors and keep them on and whatever, And I reckon this is something we got to live with. And I hate this is going on, but I'm sure it's going to be some mamas and daddies that might not even want to send them to school, because of that, but hopefully not.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where homeschooling was, something that really picked up last year, and then a lot of schools, in the public schools, ended up moving kids to private schools because they didn't have such restrictions, but like I said, Governor DeSantis passed a bill and said that it's the parents' choice as far as if they want to put a mask on their kids or not. The schools down here are not making it mandatory. So Florida's just a different world down here, man.
And you got the worst case of the COVID out there. Yeah.
Well, they say 99% of the deaths right now due to COVID are people that were unvaccinated. Yeah. So,
well, that's it's a good.
I think that's encouraging people to get the shot.
I hope it does. I've said all along, get your vaccines, and whether or not whether you get it.
I'd be interested when Chip Lindsey's on. We're finding out Alabama's like an 85%, almost 90% as far as players that have the vaccine are taking the vaccine, and some other teams are in the 80s. And I'd be interested to see where Troy's at, see where their numbers are as far as players getting the shot.
Yeah, I think they were very pleased, with the way Troy's athletic department has handled all of this, and when they hit the field on Friday, we'll know a little bit about what's going on, and seems to me that everything's going good right here at Troy, and continue.
With the influx of students arriving at Troy, it's the Greek week for the ladies,
that's right.
It's in full swing this week. They'll have the bid day, I guess, this Saturday. So
the bid day, that's right.
All the fraternities all the students are rolling back into town. They're getting their apartments.
That's right.
They will not socially distance.
See, one of
and so it's gonna.
Hey, Michael, what's the word on whether or not the SEC schools can pack their stadiums this year?
I mean, everybody came out initially a while back, and everybody said they're going to be at 100% capacity.
Troy's going to be 100% capacity. We had the.
I don't know if anything's going to be changed due to the Delta variant. I mean, stuff could happen before the season. Who knows? If it keeps on going the way it's going.
Well, Troy evidently.
Mike, I saw something on Facebook that Troy's season tickets are picking up, or better.
Oh yeah, they look real good so far, and of course everything's all. We go back the Troy game, the Troy team. They are ready to go, you know, and they go full house, they capacity. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean the biggest game at home will be Liberty, non-conference. I don't know if the fans realize how good Liberty was last year. But,
Who shot
you know,
Liberty Valance? Do we know who shot Liberty Valance?
They only lost one game to NC State, North Carolina State. And the reason they lost that is they got a kick block at the very end of the game that would have won the game for them.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Of course, they are playing with a former Auburn quarterback, and he's done real well at Liberty.
You see
I mean,
where
I just don't know how Hugh Freeze can stay there another year. Say Liberty wins another 10 games this year. I mean, even though he has baggage, the guy's just a really good coach.
Michael, they're paying him a lot of money.
is it about
Oh,
over
yeah.
$3 million?
$3 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, these, you're right. A lot more than these other coaches.
I saw yesterday that the rowing coach at Alabama makes $160,000 a year. Can you imagine that? A rowing coach.
The rowing,
Row your boat.
the rowing coach, ladies and gentlemen, makes $160,000 a year. He's got a horn blowing it. Go.
I saw where Jacksonville State and Eastern Kentucky are being sued by the Ohio Valley Conference over exit fees. They both owe $1 million each. They left the Ohio Valley Conference to join the Atlantic Sun, but there's been a lawsuit filed against Jacksonville State and Eastern Kentucky.
By the Ohio Valley Conference, is that right? Yeah.
Jacksonville State made one call to the great Randy Owen from Alabama today. He can take care of that.
Oh, yeah. But tell us about that conference that Jacksonville's getting in. Who are some other schools in that conference?
They're going to Atlantic Sun, but they're going to have to play out of the WAC this year. They're going to have to play Western schools this year.
They will?
Yeah, I think for 1 year.
Uh-huh. And, of course, Jacksonville plays UAB at Crampton Bowl, Mike, on a Wednesday. What is the day? They play on a Wednesday night in Montgomery. I'm gonna go see that game and go see some.
Yeah, that's the Johnny Williams Kickoff Classic.
That's right, the Johnny Williams Kickoff Classic. Yeah, but that's gonna be a fun game to watch. And of course UAB coming in there with a great band, and then the Southerners, the marching Southerners, Mike, come in there with those Dixie Darlings, or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I think the UAB Jack State game's on September the 1st.
September the 1st on a Wednesday night, prayer meeting night, and the Jack State, they'll play them tough, don't you think?
You would think that. First game of the season, I think they would.
Of course, Troy's excited. They open up against Southern University on September the 2nd, and that will be at Veterans Memorial Stadium. And then the next week, like Mike just mentioned, Liberty comes to town.
Have y'all seen Malzahn since he's been at Central Florida?
No, but he's still still busy counting his money, Mike. I mean, Will.
He has dyed his hair blonde.
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that's just a lot of sun getting in his hair, Will.
I don't know.
It's the beach.
I don't know.
It's too much chlorine in the pool.
He's been putting that sun in stuff. My mom used to make me put it in my hair when I started losing my blonde hair. She would put sun in my hair.
Back to what we've talked about earlier about your good friend from for the golf channel and
Bob Jones.
Bob Jones the fourth. He's going to expect you to come up there and play.
He's called me twice. I told him, I said, I got a new set of irons I haven't even hit yet. So.
Oh God! Can you hit irons? Can you hit every iron and hit it in the middle of the club?
Mike, I've been playing golf 50 years. I've never had a fitted set of golf clubs in my life. I've always bought them off the rack or ordered them or whatever. You know. But I went a couple of months ago and had clubs fitted, and you know, and I got the clubs that came in last week, but I hadn't played with them yet.
How much longer though? There's a difference in the length of the club.
No, the shafts are different. They've got there's a new shaft. It's a combination graphite and steel, and it lets the older players swing the club faster.
Yeah.
You know, so it gives you better speed on the thing, and then you know they're forgiving. The heads are perimeter weighted, which is different. A lot of heads have the weight in the center. Well, these have the weight balanced out, so if you miss a shot on the heel or the toe, it'll still go pretty much the same distance.
All right, let me ask this: Can you hit a 1-iron solid?
I used to could when I was in college, but I haven't hit a 1-iron in 30 years.
So you wouldn't even carry it in your bag, would you?
I don't carry. I carry hybrids.
I was wondering about that. Are you hitting the hybrids? Or are you hitting the long iron like a 2-iron, a 3-iron?
I've got a hybrid 3-iron, hybrid 4-iron.
And the rest irons.
Hey, Will, why didn't your cousin Doug Barron play in the senior British Open?
He has had a neck injury, and it's fairly significant. And the doctor told him he could not fly. You know, it's like a 7-hour flight over there. He could not fly to the British Open, which he was he was upset about it because that's where he started. You know.
Would you rather win a gold medal or win a major?
Major.
I'd rather win a major by far. The gold medal only paid $25,000.
Yeah.
That didn't even get his hotel room.
Now, surely the expenses were paid now.
You know, Shopley's never won a major, so that's why I was asking that question.
Yeah.
He will, though. Shopley will win multiple majors before it's over.
What is his background? Where did he come from?
His dad's from Germany and his mom's from Chinese Taipei.
So actually, he's not a full-fledged American.
No. He was born and raised in San Diego.
Oh, okay. And
his grandparents actually lived in Tokyo, though.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that was a great moment for him.
Let's talk a little bit UAB football. I took about 5 classes there, so I'm a UAB supporter. Jacksonville State to open the season in Crampton Bowl. The next week, on the 11th, they'll travel to Athens, Georgia. Will they win that game?
I don't believe so. I think they'll lose that game.
All right, so they'll lose to Georgia. All right, then after that, they go to Denton, Texas to play North Texas.
They'll beat Denton. They're pretty good, but I think they'll beat North Texas.
Then they'll travel to New Orleans to play Tulane.
Tulane's pretty good. I say Tulane's gonna beat them. I think they'll beat them. Tulane.
Then their first game ever at the new Protective Life Stadium. I saw it in Birmingham the other day. It's a beautiful stadium. They'll play the first game ever against Liberty.
Oh man, I think they'll lose against Liberty.
I think they'll beat Liberty.
You do? Okay.
After that, they'll play the next game at home against Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
Well, you think they're going to win or lose?
Florida Atlantic, they'll lose. I mean, they'll beat Florida Atlantic. Excuse me, they'll beat them. Yeah.
Then they go to Hattiesburg to play Southern Miss.
They'll beat Southern Miss.
Homecoming against Rice.
They'll beat Rice like a yard dog.
Then a tough team they always struggle with, Louisiana Tech and Skip Holtz will be playing in Birmingham.
Skip's a pretty good coach, but I think UAB will beat them.
Then a great trip here. We've been there a couple times. 2 Marshalls in Huntington, West Virginia.
I think Appalachian will beat them at home.
And then a surprising team last year that won 8 games, University of Texas San Antonio.
Yeah,
in San Antonio.
I'll take UAB.
and then they finished up against the UTEP Miners.
UTEP,
What do you think?
UTEP.
What do you think? What do you think of Conference USA compared to the Sun Belt when you hear those teams?
Oh gosh, is Middle Tennessee actually in the Conference USA now? Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, they've been in Conference USA, but I mean, UAB doesn't play them this year.
Okay,
so yeah, they're in
that's
the
what I was
conference.
wondering. Yeah,
You know,
they don't play Marshall either, do they?
They do play Marshall.
Okay.
The tickets for that Liberty game, upper deck $62. This is Liberty at UAB at the new stadium. Upper deck $62 a ticket. Lower is like $133 a ticket.
And
at UAB.
they'll sell it out. Yeah, don't you think that? I
Like
doubt
Liberty
if there'll be
game.
a seat anywhere. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
All depends on who Alabama and Auburn are playing that day.
But you know, I tell you what, UAB, this is the best things ever happened to their program. You know, to have their own stadium and beautiful stadium, and it's just, you know, the people that are playing that around all these other things going up, all kinds of restaurants opening up and so forth. That's going to be a great thing for Birmingham right there.
That game's at
What will they do with Legion Field? Will they implode it or something?
I hope so.
I would think so, but you know, you never can tell. Some of these smaller schools would probably love to play there. You know.
Alabama's got Ole Miss that day at home.
yeah, that's right. Auburn plays at LSU. Auburn's at LSU.
I would think this. I would think this game would be a night
That's
game.
a bad combination there.
And you know,
Yeah, Auburn and LSU will be a night game though.
Yeah.
and this is a night game between Liberty and UAB.
Is that?
Isn't it, Michael?
So,
Yeah, it is.
says
Hey,
7 o'clock.
Dad, let's take our first break for the day.
Okay, we'll take a short break and we'll be back with more of Today in LA.
We're still on.
Well, right now we're still on the air. Forrest Lee is with me. Of course,
Here we go.
he's getting ready for the football season, and we'll be back.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is excited to welcome country music icon Martina McBride to Riverwalk Stadium on August 14th. Tickets are just $30. Get your tickets online at montgomeryal.gov or in person at 200 Coosa Street. Martina McBride with special guests, the Wilson Brothers Band, on August 14th is brought to you by Embassy Suites, Blue Water Broadcasting, and Bama Bud.
Are you ready?
Starting August 20th.
Since 1904, Badcock Home Furniture and More has supported neighbors and helped them feel just right at home. And for our 117th anniversary, we're raising $117,000 for American Red Cross Disaster Relief. Plus, get special savings throughout the store, including our Legends Anniversary Mattress, all with no credit refused. For style that feels just right, it has to be Badcock. Badcock Home Furniture and More. Just right.
When it comes to surgery, precision is perfection. The very latest technology available ensures the best possible outcome. The Mako Robotic Arm-Assisted Surgery System is now available at Troy Regional Medical Center. Skilled orthopedic surgeon Dr. Robert L. Liljeberg and his team provide patients with faster recovery and better movement after a knee replacement surgery. When accuracy matters, you deserve the very best. Troy Regional Medical Center.
We're back.
Back to our show, brought to you by our good friends at Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama, one of the great trucking companies in America. Of course, have a wonderful package for you folks looking to drive a truck and be involved with one of the top trucking companies in the world. We're right here with Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama. I also want to mention our good friends at located at we were talking earlier about what a great place to eat breakfast, but Bird Drugs is also a great pharmacy, and appreciate them and so much being a part of our show. And of course, great breakfast this morning, like we said, from Bird Drugs. Wouldn't you say? You like those sliced tomatoes, don't you?
I love sliced tomatoes and a little bit of bacon, dry toast.
And that's sort of like an open face BLT, isn't it?
Well, what I do is
with the tomatoes.
they slice your bread, and then I put just a touch of mayonnaise on it, and just put I cut my tomatoes in half and just eat it open face tomato.
Open face tomato
sandwich.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you something too. I've eaten there a long time, and I like those cracked eggs. That's the real cracked eggs. It's always a fresh egg, and I enjoy that.
I love fresh eggs too.
When they'll give us those cracked eggs.
Michael,
the guy cracking my eggs this morning will be drinking a cold beer while he's doing it.
Who is that?
Glenn at Sunny
Yeah,
Side
that's
Grill.
right. That's right.
He sits there and drinks cold beer while he makes omelets.
Yeah, exactly.
That stud linebacker from that was playing at Faith Academy. His name's Shamir James.
Yeah, I read that yesterday. He's going to Faith Academy. I mean, going to Navarre Beach.
Navarre Beach. He's 6'3", 212, committed to Florida over Alabama. So he left Faith Academy, and he's going to Navarre High School, or Navarre Beach, to play in Florida.
Troy's got a local connection down there. Brad Rhodes coaches at Navarre.
Is that where he coaches now? I was wondering. Is he the head coach or assistant coach?
Assistant coach.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and he's a good friend of ours, and Brad Rhodes.
If he's a defensive coordinator, I know he's happy as a Lord.
I know he is. He sure is. It's a good program down there.
I don't know.
You know, Mike, we were talking about the Conference USA and compare it with, of course, Troy's conference, the Sun Belt, and look at what you think is the top 4 teams in the Sun Belt Conference. Who would you think in the Sun Belt, and then compare them with the top 4 teams in Conference USA?
I mean, Louisiana Lafayette, Coastal, Appalachian State, probably. I mean, I don't know who would be the 4th team. Georgia Southern.
I think this year it's going to be. I think South Alabama's going to be. If they jail all those recruits, not recruits, but if all those transfers,
transfers are going to help
because
them.
they picked up 2 Forsters.
I would normally say Lafayette, Arkansas State, Appalachian State, and Georgia Southern is who I normally would say. But now you got to throw Coastal in the mix, and then Georgia State's beaten Troy 3 straight years.
But
I don't know.
I would say Appalachian, Coastal. And then Louisiana, and then I would say maybe either between Troy and Georgia Southern and Arkansas State.
Troy's fallen so much, so I mean you can't put Troy up there anymore.
Well, you could put. Let's just say
coming out 5 and 6 and 5 and 7. Troy's not in the top 4.
All right, let's look at Arkansas State, Coastal Carolina, and Appalachian State, and the other one Louisiana. All right, those are the top 4. Let's just say that's the top 4. Now turn over and tell me who are the top 4 in Conference USA. It's not Charlotte. It's not Rice. It's not Old Dominion.
Probably UAB. Recently, UAB, Florida Atlantic when Kiffin was there really had it going. Marshall's always good. Maybe Texas San Antonio's gotten really good.
Yeah. But I tell you,
Tulane has been pretty good under Willie Britt.
Yeah. But you know something. I guarantee you, Louisiana, Appalachian, and Coastal would wear any of those guys out, don't you think? And Arkansas State, or Georgia Southern, or Troy.
I mean, it's real competitive.
Or Georgia State, yeah. I tell you what. Here you are, Charlotte, just mediocre. Rice, very mediocre. Old Dominion, very mediocre. North Texas, I would say fairly mediocre. Middle Tennessee's fair. Marshall fair, Louisiana Tech fair, Florida International fair, Florida Atlantic fair. They've already taken UAB out of this. No, there's UAB. UAB is probably the top team in their league. Mike, what do you think?
Well, Troy used to be in the same conference with Florida Atlantic. Used to be in the same conference with Middle Tennessee. Used to be in the same conference with North Texas. Used to be in the same conference with Western Kentucky. So, and they used to be in the same conference with FIU.
Yeah, and
So,
then
a lot of those guys Troy used to beat on a regular basis.
That's right. I would put Western Kentucky in there, fairly tough game right there. But UAB, I think, I really believe that the top four teams in the Sun Belt would handle the top four teams in the Conference USA. What do you think?
Well, teeter-totter. I think Sun Belt may be a little bit better at the top of the conference.
Yeah.
But one thing, we mentioned Georgia State. 3 of their first games are against Army, North Carolina, and Auburn.
Oh boy, that's going to be
Georgia
tough on
State.
that. Yeah. And the thing is, you look at these teams. Let's look at the Sun Belt. Appalachian State, tough ball game. Arkansas State, usually a tough ball game. Coastal Carolina, usually a tough team. Georgia Southern, usually a tough team. Georgia State, of course, they open up with that tough schedule, but they're a pretty tough team. Louisiana, tough team. La Monroe's not very good. South Alabama's going to be good. Texas State, they're so-so, and then Troy. They're not but 2 teams in this whole league that is really have not performed well, and that is Texas State, and that is Louisiana Monroe. The rest of them are pretty tough teams. You think about it.
I do.
Against any of these teams. Georgia State.
But then you throw in Louisiana Monroe, and you got Terry Bowden and Rich Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, Richie Rodriguez. Yeah.
I don't know what their transfer portal would be like.
I know.
I mean, it's all about when they get there, are they going to be able to do this with the other teammates?
I'll tell you this: they'll all have their name on their helmet. How many times have you seen over the years teams that would have to put the names on the helmet so they know who they were?
Yeah.
And that's where the Louisiana Monroe is going to be. But
I tell
really,
you what, Georgia State and that quarterback being back for his 3rd year as a starter.
Oh yeah.
I look for them to upset somebody.
Yeah, I do too. And but again, and you take Texas State. Now, Texas State is a huge school. We're talking about have 35,000 students, and they're going to be good, but they're not good right now. But they're going to be good.
They had Boston College beat at Boston College last year at Chestnut Hill. With about a minute, 30 seconds left, I think they fumbled, and Boston College got the ball back and beat them.
I'll tell you how tough this conference is. They open. Texas State opens up with Baylor, and then they play at Florida International, and then another. What is this? UIW.
University of Wisconsin. Something.
I don't know exactly who that is, but they finish up with South Alabama, Troy, Georgia State, Louisiana Monroe, Georgia Southern at Coastal Carolina, and Arkansas State. That is a brutal schedule for them to play. But maybe they might be even more improved. They're a big school.
That's the incarnate word. Hey, Michael, that IWC is the incarnate word.
That's
Cardinals.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. They're out of Texas. Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy, are they an independent?
I reckon.
No, they're 1AA.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
I really just think Troy's season really comes down to 2 games. If they can win against Liberty at home, and if they can win on the road against Southern Miss, they can have a big season.
Yeah.
Real big.
I've got a feeling.
But one thing you've got to do, you've got to split. You can't lose both of them.
Yeah. I've got, of course, we got Coach Chip Lindsey's going to be on our show Friday, and we're looking forward to that. And we'll get to ask him about what he thinks he got to do to win. Another, of course, everybody wants to win at least 6 games, and I feel like he's got eight wins in him. Don't you, Mike?
Oh man, I don't know. We'll have to see. This is the toughest schedule by far.
Yeah.
And then you got to factor in. You bring Lafayette back onto the schedule. Oh man,
It's going to be tough. No question
Well,
about
the plus, if they get off to a good
you're
start.
You're going to catch South Carolina under a first-year coach, and maybe if Troy gets hot, maybe that's a possible upset there. But in the conference, I mean, Troy got voted. I don't know if you realize they got voted last.
Hang on, Michael. Got another caller. Good morning. Welcome to Today in L.A.
I'm glad it is. This is Max Howell. How y'all this
it. Hey,
morning?
Max, how you doing, buddy?
Hang on, I'll bring you right back. Hey, Michael, we have Max Howell on the phone with us.
Of course, Max Howell, one of my good friends. He's getting prepared to go into the Troy University Hall of Fame in September the 1st. Is that what's the date on that? The 3rd.
That's right.
September.
It's the 3rd. Yeah, Mike.
And of course, that's going to be at the Trojan Arena. It's going to be a great night. But how's things going, Max?
Very well, very well. Anxious to get football started, man.
I know you're excited. I was telling the audience just a while ago, we have Chip Lindsey, the head football coach at Troy University, is going to be our guest on Friday, and we're going to have a great opportunity to ask him a lot of questions. But we look at these schedules. It's not many freeloaders out there. I mean, or what we call sure wins out there for anybody. Don't you think?
You're absolutely right. The scheduling thing used to be extremely important because schools were able to put a couple of 3 games in there that they had a pretty good chance to win. Today, with the scholarships like they are, and with the transfer portals like they are, you better come prepared every day if you're going to win.
I read the other day that South Alabama has already got 14 transfers through the portal, and that's enough to turn a complete team around right there.
Let me tell you, out of 25, Mike, if I could find 14 that could play every year, I was ahead of the game.
Why would you even want to look at a high school kid when you can look at these guys? They're proven.
Mike, I keep making reference, but that's the way we did it at Troy.
Yeah, you're right.
We won the first championship. We took Ronnie Shelley, Rusty Donis, Al Head, Bill Russell, about a half a dozen, I guess, good high school players.
Yeah.
Rest of them all transfers.
That's right. And you're exactly right. And of course, want to mention on a sad note to a lot of you folks out there, I had a good friend of mine that we are praying for. He's under the doctor's care, and hopefully he'll be out and ready. Rodney Burgess died at his home yesterday after a short illness, and Rodney was a good friend of mine. Did you remember Rodney Burgess?
No, I didn't know him.
Yeah, well, Rodney came on later. Of course, he and Hugh Cole. Every time you see Hugh Cole, you see Rodney Burgess, and he was a great Trojan and a great friend. And we're so sad to give you that information today, as Rodney died at his home yesterday. And
well, another one out there, Mike, it's very serious, is Bobby Floyd.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's undergoing a removal of a cancerous kidney this morning.
Yeah.
Because we've already lost Al Dees.
Yeah.
Off that championship team, of course, Floyd and Dees were the start, and Hugh Cole was our backup guy.
Of course, you had Mike Sadler. You remember Mike Sadler? He died.
You're right. We've lost several off that team.
Sure did. No question about it. And our prayers and our thoughts go all on. I tell you, I think of those guys, Sam Bird and Alvin Dees. Those guys were on that first team. In fact, Gary Loggins was one of the leftover Clemson people that was a good football player. We lost him
That's
too.
true. Well, we lost Fred College. We lost George Hires. That was
That's
our
right.
good start tackles. We lost Doug Taylor, our tight end.
That's right.
I mean, I'd say half a dozen of those guys that started were about all that's left.
Oh yeah, no question about it. So, and it's sad that one thing. I need to admit this: we're all getting old. You know what I'm saying? And, but you know what? You're probably as fit as any 80-year-old I know. You've worked out every day of your life. It seems like.
Well, I think that preserved it, Mike. I really do, and I'm thankful my dad put me on that point.
I mean, you've already done your push-ups and your isometric. You do a lot of isometrics.
Yeah, believe me, I just walk now. That's the last resort. That's it. But yeah, I'm very pleased and very thankful.
How do you keep the girls away, Max? Good the shape of you in. How do you keep the girls away?
What y'all don't know don't hurt you.
Oh yeah, exactly. And other day I got
Max, since the last time we talked, Oklahoma and Texas are now official.
Sure.
A lot of people don't think that they're going to stay in the Big 12 until 2025, even though their commissioner is trying to say that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I think they'll be in the SEC by 2023.
There's already rumors out that the SEC has been in contact with Florida State and Clemson. I mean, what in the world is about to happen in college football?
It's going
to be the Super Mega Conferences. I think this is the first step. The SEC just leading the way. I don't know how many more they want to go, though. Think about it, guys. If the projections years ago was that we're going to end up with probably 20 teams in 4 conferences. That's 80 teams. I'm not sure there's 80 teams in America that can play at that level.
Yeah.
Maybe if they stopped at 16 or maybe 18, I don't know. But I think we're going to see some kind of merger between the Big 12 and the Pac-12. I think the Big 10 is going to, shake some limbs out there as well. The ACC, without Florida State and Clemson, I don't know how good they'd be. There's still going to be some changes made, and I think that really behind the scenes, I think there are a lot of guys out there right now that really they're shaking the limbs trying to figure out what where to go and what to do.
I'll give you a good indication. You look at the Pac-12. They have Arizona. That's a big school, and it has a fairly good program. I would say Arizona State, good program. California, pretty good program. Colorado, up and coming program. At one time, Colorado was a pretty good football team. Oregon, of course, is a top-notch program. Oregon State, so-so. Stanford, a top-notch program. UCLA, USC, Southern Cal, Utah, and Washington, and then Washington State. I would say the weakling, even though they're real good offensively, is Washington State, Oregon State, and possibly one of those, say Arizona. But the rest of them are pretty good football teams. Wouldn't you say, Max? Those are pretty good teams.
But they don't do well in championship play.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
I mean,
yeah,
that's what everybody's measured by.
Yeah.
Do you live off the week by week? Your attendance, your win-loss record, your TV appearances, or do you actually, build your program toward a championship, winning your conference, and get to the playoffs?
Yeah.
And I think that's the way it's headed.
You look at some of the
the fan bases out there aren't as strong either compared to like the SEC and probably even the ACC. I mean, you got so much more stuff to do out there, and you got a lot more professional sports out west.
Sure. It's not the enthusiasm of the West Coast as it is in this part of the country.
Well, you look at the Mountain West. You got Air Force, Boise State, Colorado State, not very good. Fresno, it's fair. You got Hawaii, Nevada, New Mexico, San Diego State, San Jose State, UNLV, Utah State, Wyoming, and
Mike,
they're not very good.
None of those programs are ever going to compete for the national championships, though.
Oh, I know that. No way. No way. You're exactly right.
My big question, Max, is who gets to move up? Who's out there that's got to get enough program to go to a Power 5 school? I mean, does Memphis and the FedEx money, Houston and that huge market, Boise State, is it even possible that they could go to a Power 5? I mean, are any of those teams going to move up?
Utah State.
Yeah.
You know, I think they are kind of what I call almost like the second tier. They can compete occasionally, but none of those, Michael, can compete consistently. If they could, they would have already done it. They've already made would have made try to make the move. It'd be, if Mike Rovell could have done it at Memphis as successful as he was, he'd have stayed there. But he knew he couldn't. So I'm just saying there's still a lot of things that's going to go on, a lot of things that happen on the academic side that's not even talked about right now. That has a lot to do with getting players in college and keeping them there to become eligible till you participate. Who's going to grab BYU? Well, see, BYU, that's going to be their choice. Yeah. They've chosen to go that route because they're so independent. They've got a 4 billion member fan base worldwide.
Yeah.
They fly.
Yeah. You're cutting out. You're cutting out on us, Coach.
I'm sorry.
Good, Coach.
We got you good now.
We got Max Howell on our line, of course, one of the leading sports analysts in the country, and we're talking football, and of course the SEC's and all the big boys get started this week with practice, and I've talked to the Troy people a little bit last night at a function we had, a real nice function in Luverne, and had all the coaches pretty much there. They look like, Max, that they might be going to just one practice a day. You know how everybody used to have the 2 practices and even the 3 practices. They look like they're going to go with the one practice. Now, they have practiced all summer long. I've never seen it like it. They practice on their off-season program every day that's in the hot part of the day.
That's the difference, Mike. Remember when we would get, years ago, all the schools, you didn't get the kids till August because
there was
no scholarships available for the summertime. So you got them in August, and then you had to condition them for a couple of weeks. You had to stay on the field 2 or 3 times a day.
That's right. Yeah.
Now they work year round. You're absolutely right.
And they don't really have to, and this helps the player. To me, I think they overdo it a little bit. So I think this is I hope what Troy's doing is an omen for the other guys to do.
They don't hit as much either, too. As far as the head injury.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
The injury factor. They can't afford. You can't afford to lose.
What you'll see more
on the practice field.
Max, what you'll see more in this thing is helmets and shoulder pads. You very rarely see them wear pants.
It's called thud practice.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the Carolina Panthers dismissed a player that they signed as a free agent because he leveled his teammate in practice and had to be carted off the field.
Can you believe they ran a player off for what we used to just go and hug him for the big hit,
This guy leveled him, and his teammate had to go off on a stretcher. But I questioned real quick, upset specials the first weekend. Do you think Louisiana has a chance to upset Texas? Are there any upsets looming the first weekend of?
No, there's always going to be, 1 or 2 the first week or 2, always. This very reason. So, you got injuries. You just pointed out. You got injuries in practice. You got starters that, didn't come back in quite as good a shape. There's several reasons why that happens. They underestimated their opponent, or the opponent may, gotten a transfer in right at the end they weren't prepared for. there's 100 reasons why you can do it, but you'll have one or two. I'm not going to step out and say who I think is going to be. I don't know right now.
Well, I'll tell you this, that it's going to be played on Sunday, and that's going to be a heck of a game to watch.
That's Florida State and Notre Dame.
No, I'm just saying Texas and Louisiana play on Sunday, September the 4th.
That's a Saturday.
No, that's
I'm sorry. I don't know where I got
Yeah,
that.
you know, a game that interests me is LSU making the trip out to play UCLA. UCLA gets a head start and plays Hawaii the week before. Anyway, LSU loses to UCLA.
They lost.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't know what the opening line is right now, but I've made those trips across country. And when you take a team across country early in the season, particularly going from east to west, timelines, you get yourself off a schedule. There's just so many different things that can happen that you know, particularly if it's a young team, that they aren't prepared for, that you can't prepare for. So that is could be. Let's say that's in the realm of possibility.
Right. And they lost one of their top quarterbacks, broke his humerus.
Yeah, that's right.
Miles Brennan.
Yeah.
He was a backup, wasn't he? Was he the starter?
Well, he was the starter 2 years ago until he got hurt last year.
Brad Johnson's son is the starter.
That Max Johnson was going to be the starter anyway.
Yeah. But
Max, you're close to that program. I guess Steve Jenkins is still, you know, close to Orgeron. I mean, what are they saying about Orgeron down there? I mean, I know he won a national championship and everybody praised him as the king, but after last year and all this stuff off the field.
Well, he went undefeated, you know, 2 years ago, won the championship. They went 5-5, and all these other lawsuits and all has popped up with Title IX and a bunch of other things. He's inherited. Some of it started, you know, prior to the end, but he's in it now. So it's going to be a distraction for him. I don't think we really know how the team's going to play. I mean, it told me last year Mississippi State would have gone in and beat them on the opening game. I'd have never believed that. But they were coming off of, the year before the national championship. But they got better toward the end of the year. They ended up winning, I think, 3 out of the last 4. So, but I think a lot of pressure. I really do believe a lot of pressure. He can't go 5-5 or 6-6 this year. I can tell you.
Michael, who's coaching UCLA?
Chip Kelly.
All right, let me tell you.
Chip Kelly.
That's going to be an upset right there. UCLA is going to upset LSU.
Well, UCLA plays Hawaii the week before, so they get a head start.
Yeah.
Right.
That will help them.
That's not a real possibility now. You know, there's several folks.
They're playing at UCLA, you know. You know, I noticed this on LSU's schedule. They're playing McNeese. You know, LSU has, I don't know, something through the legislature saying that you're supposed to play all the Louisiana schools, and I reckon that's part of it, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they've always done that.
One thing that's going to help LSU is they play at 8:30 p.m. rather than if it was like a midday game.
Yeah,
California
yeah.
It says they
It'd
kick
be a
off at
late night
8:30
one, yeah.
p.m. on Fox.
Yeah, that'd be a good one
This
too.
would be 6:30 our time.
Yeah. You know, you know, of course, one of your best friends is one of Orgeron's best friends. What does he have to say about Orgeron as a person?
He thinks that he have to get fired in Ole Miss. That you know, he set out for part of the time. I think he ended up 1 year as a line coach for the Saints. Then he goes to Southern Cal. It turns out for Brown. And he really wanted that head job, but didn't get it. Then sit out another half a year, and then of course he ends up at LSU. But you talk about Pete Jenkins. Pete is a defensive line coach. I thought still get a chance to talk to Pete about once every week or two.
You know, Pete was at Auburn too at one time, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, Pete coached at 4 different times.
Yeah.
He's got an apartment.
Yeah.
A condo
Yeah.
right next to the practice field out there. He and his wife stayed in there during the summertime in the
Okay.
Sandestin, on the bay side, not the Gulf side.
Let me say,
Yeah, he's got an old USC and Rams coach down there too. He's got John Robinson helping out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So I think if Oshron himself can put all the distractions aside, I don't think there's any doubt. He's a good football coach. He learned a lot at Ole Miss. I think he was a lot of his league that first year or two, but I think he's calmed down right now, and I think he's matured and certainly appears to have everything. I don't understand all the ramifications of the lawsuits that were going on down there. But if it they were hiding some of the stuff that the kids were doing, then he'll have to pay for that somewhere else.
One thing, another ball game that you got to look at on September the 4th, right out of the chute, is Georgia and Clemson. They're playing at a neutral field in Charlotte. I believe Georgia's going to beat them.
Well, Clemson favored in there. The line dropped though. It started out at about 6.5. I think it's down to like 3 now. So that's a big game.
Well, I don't think they're solid at quarterback. And Georgia's supposed to be loaded at quarterback.
They got one kid. They got J.T. Daniels, who had played before ball game.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see if he has to run from somebody because he can't outrun me.
Oh, he got it. But
he can throw it now. He can throw it. He can read defense. He's a pro prospect. I don't think there's any doubt. But I won't be interested to see what they do defensively against him.
Yeah.
Because they had only games he won last year. He won 4, I believe, last year. But after he came back, I believe all had losing records. The ones that he won. So I've read all his stats and I've seen all the national publicity he's got. To see, maybe who is the number 2 quarterback?
Stetson Bennett.
Oh yeah, the kid from.
The guy that was the walk on that started last year is still on the roster.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So if he goes down, and he came with a bad knee to start with. So I'll be interested to see what they do.
Yeah.
The team in the SEC that texts to everybody else, Georgia, because technically
Coach, you're cutting out on us again.
They're going to win a national championship. The last championship they won was 1980.
Yeah. Coach.
You're kind of cutting in and out of on us.
Coach has got self-service like I do. I got one bar in Great Bend. I got one bar up in Mississippi.
I have a great lifestyle, and I have to sometimes I literally have to get in the car and drive up to Fulton, which is about 8 miles, to get a signal to do it. Do. I'm over, as far as my business is concerned, I stay on the phone most of the time.
How's that radio? Now, tell us a little bit about your radio programs.
Yeah, that's we me and 3 more guys got together. We bought an internet radio station. It's something new that's on the market right now. We go, it's already on there. It's all you go to Apple Store and get the app. We play music 24/7 right now. We're doing classic rock and classic country, and we'll put in. I won't do maybe 2 hours a week on the sports program. We got some specialty. We got an overnight trucker show geared out of Florida. We've got 2 or 3 other kind of conservative political talks coming every short 30-minute, hour a day. But it's going to be a new concept. We get all kind of publicity around the country from it right now. Particularly being it's based out of Mississippi, it's based out of Tupelo, and it's going to be exciting. It's something you can get it on all your laptop, your
So
you got Bluetooth, you get it right. You can plug it right through your car phone, radio in the car from the phone. So we're excited about it. We think it's a coming thing.
When are you going to go on the air?
My show pre-recorded every week. I'm only going to do 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do live, definitely live.
Okay. And when does that start, Max?
Starts, well, music's up now, Mike. I start the 16th.
Okay.
On the 16th.
It's going to be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Of course, you know, Max, you've always been, have you started back cooking yet?
Yeah, we'll start. I think we'll probably start. We didn't do it this week. People still on vacation, and next week I'll go. One of my couples, I'll go house sit for them for 2 weeks, and so I'm gonna say probably the last week of August we'll start back on a regular basis.
Well, I tell you what, you live a great life. I tell you, I envy you. You seem like you're doing exactly what you want to do.
You know, I worked long and hard, Mike, to get to this point in my life. I have to say, and I'm you know, just exceptional thankful for being healthy enough to enjoy it right now. Because I do.
Who's gonna retire first, Max Hall or Mike Amos?
I don't know. They might retire me if I don't get any better. But I tell you what, Max, you're a good friend, and we appreciate you. And are you looking forward?
Max, you should call in on Friday when Chip Lindsey's on and listen to that.
Well, you know, the reason I'm calling today is because I got a business call that comes on at 8. It's one of a 2-hour business call on Friday. That's most of our Friday calls in the afternoon. Yeah. But I'm sorry, I am going to miss that. I would do that, but Friday I'm going to be on another call, and I won't get a chance to call in.
Okay, Max. Thank you so much for calling today, and we look forward to hearing from you next week.
Yeah, I'll be here every week, Mike. Thank you,
we appreciate you. Max Howell calling in from Fulton, Mississippi this morning, and you'll finish up.
I was going to mention the 6 and under Sweeties from Troy, that represented the state of Alabama.
When will they be coming through?
Well, they won in the first game of the championship yesterday, 21-11 over Tennessee. Then they lost in the championship game, 19-15, to finish runner-up in the World Series X-Play Championship in Alexandria, Louisiana. So congratulations to the Sweeties on their runner-up finish in the World Series. And
tell us what we got going though. We got 8-year-olds now next.
The 8 and under boys will be in Laurel, Mississippi this weekend, and also the Ozone, which I think are 11 and 12-year-olds, will be in Laurel, Mississippi for the World Series there.
And that starts
surely those little girls can get a second place trophy. That's pretty amazing.
The problem is if they don't hurry up, they're going to miss school.
Yeah,
some of them.
What are these kids going to do? These other tournaments are just starting?
Yeah, they'll miss school because it starts.
Crazy.
It starts this weekend and school starts.
Yeah.
Wow. We start our preschool on Monday, and then regular school starts on Tuesday.
Right. These kids grow up awfully early in Troy, Alabama. I tell you what, 6-year-olds and 8-year-olds are. But I know they're excited. I know their parents are just as excited as they are.
Seth Curry's kind of excited. He signed a 4-year contract for $215 million. So he gets $53 million a year to play basketball.
How could anybody be worth $215 million? Golly. He could break his leg tomorrow.
These NBA guys, you can sit on the bench and make $7 or $8 million a year.
I know, it's amazing.
It's
amazing.
unreal.
Well, Mike, we always enjoy you coming to us every week. Of course, Brundage Country Club, what y'all got going this weekend?
Well, I'm fixing to report to work here about 9 o'clock this morning. And, you play golf it's a great place to play, and course looks wonderful. And tomorrow, don't we have one of the coaches coming on too?
Oh we got Bam Hardeman coming
on in the morning.
Mike, we got Bam coming on in the morning. And boy, you talk about looking fit. But Troy, let me tell you a little quick secret. Troy is loaded up front. They just brought another guy in. They really like their defensive front. And let me tell you something. And I've always said this: if you can not get whipped up front, you got a chance to win.
That's right.
And this Troy team looks stronger than ever up front, Mike.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to him about his Florida days. He played at the University of Florida.
Oh yeah, no question. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good day.